Hey everyone, today we're running a GrowthBook Bandit setup any percent where we're going to get a GrowthBook Bandit experiment set up in less than 4 minutes. Let's go. Quick primer before our speed run. Unlike a traditional A/B test, bandits are dynamic. They reallocate traffic based on which variation performs better. Think less which version wins and more how do we get to that winner faster. Our mission, set up a 5-variation test to maximize donations to Raccoon Rescue. Probably obvious, but Bandit is a cute nickname for a raccoon. All right, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the different splits for this speed run so you have a sense of what's going on. Split 1 is the SDK connection. In GrowthBook, I am going to create a new SDK connection. And then for split 2, I'm going to take that SDK connection and put it into Framer, which we're using to create our website. While I'm there, I'm also going to set up our analytics, which we're using Google Analytics. That will be our event tracking. And then we'll send that all to BigQuery for our data warehouse. For split 3, I'll jump back into GrowthBook and I will set up my metrics by connecting to BigQuery. And then most of this will be generated automatically for me by GrowthBook, but then I'll also set up a custom metric that we're going to use in split 4, which is creating the experiment. That's where I'll create the Bandit experiment, the 5 different variations, as well as setting up my decision metric. And then finally, for split 5, pretty easy peasy, hopefully, I will start the experiment. All right, let's start the speed run with the first split, which is SDK connection. So I'm going to set up my SDK in GrowthBook. I'm going to call it Raccoon and use the script tag because it makes everything quite easy to set up. I'm going to copy over that script tag and jump over to Framer to do my next split analytics setup. So now I'm going to scroll down to my site settings to the custom code area and drop that script tag in. Good strat. And then I am moving over to get an additional data attribute that's needed when running Bandit experiments. That's a sticky bucket service data attribute. I'm going to paste that into the script tag. GrowthBook's now set up. While I'm here, I'm also going to set up Google Analytics. I'm grabbing my identifier key. Framer makes this really easy. Now Google Analytics is set up. And then finally, I am going to add an event tracking script, which will fire whenever the donation button is pressed in the header or in the hero. So that is now all set up. My analytics are done. Next split, I'm going to set up my metrics. So I'm going to come back over to GrowthBook and go to data sources, and I'm going to be connecting BigQuery here. So I go down, select BigQuery, Google Analytics, and then I can get this JSON key from BigQuery. I click test connection to make sure everything's working all right. It's now connected. When I click next, GrowthBook is going to generate a bunch of metrics for me automatically. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. And then what I'm going to do is create another custom metric. So we jump over to fact tables. You can see that events and page views are set up for you. Now I'm going to add that custom metric, that donation one that I set up before in Framer. So this is donation clicks. All I need to do is put the event name in here, and that is all done. I'm also going to get a little fancy and add a conversion window in. This means that only data within 1 day of the event, the experiment exposure is going to be counted. Now, just to make sure I did everything right, not even necessary, you could even skip this step. I'm going to analyze the metric, make sure that the data comes out the way that I expect it to be. It looks good. So I'm on to now the next split, setting up the actual experiment. So this is the new Bandit experiment, calling it Raccoon Donation Clicks because why not? Setting up 5 variations. That's right, 5 variations. Then we're going on to add in that donation clicks metric. That's our decision metric. That's what's going to be optimized for. Clicking off these other steps I've already done. And now I'm going to launch the visual editor to make the actual variations for this experiment. So I put in the URL for the website. It opens here. The visual editor is also open. And so now I'm going to make my changes. The first one is that I am targeting this Learn More button. I'm going to change the text to Donate Now. See if that moves the needle at all. Who knows? We'll see. Next variation, I'm going to look at this kind of subtext over here in the corner. Instead of saying, let's save some critters, I'm changing that to, I want to help Bandy. Bandy needs our help, so let's help them. Next, then I am going to focus on that text up at the top, this little meet Bandy pill. Instead of that, I'm going to change the text to help Bandy. Maybe it'll elicit some more emotion, some more feeling, get Bandy the help that they need. I don't know. Finally, I'm going to target the big text, the big CTA, and instead of saying don't let them go hungry, I'm going to change this to only you can go hungry. No, I'm going to add another line here, only you can help them. With that, then we've created 5 different variations of the page. They are now in GrowthBook. We can see them there. And then the final strat, final split, all we need to do is launch the experiment. Boom. That's it. An entire Bandit experiment from beginning to end. World record. Good game, everyone. Now, here's where it gets interesting. As I said, with the Bandit experiment, over time now, the traffic to it is going to get reallocated to those winning variants. It's pretty cool. Check our docs for more information. In our next video, we will analyze the results of this experiment and then see which variation actually performed the best. Thanks for watching. If you want to try this speed run yourself, remember these strats. Use our HTML script tag for easy connection to GrowthBook. Use fact tables with BigQuery for auto-generated metrics. Use the visual editor for no-code experiments. And most importantly, save those raccoons. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see the results in our next video.